Alright guys, so we have skim coated the most of the hull for the first time here, all the way down. There's still some stuff we got to do at the bottom of this. I just ran out of material and it got late that night, but all the joints have been kind of skim coated. I'm going to start sanding everything. It's all part of the fairing process. I think I showed it in another video too, how we kind of go about it. What I'll do is I'll hit it with the palm sander quick and just take down all the high spots like this. There's like little drips. So I'll hit that quick, take it down with palm sander, and then we will slowly build up the rest, you know, all the low spots here. And yeah, so the wonderful fairing process that everybody talks about, we are finally there. Let's see how fun it is. Alright, so I picked up this Wen drywall sander. It's got like a 9-inch disc on it. We're going to try this for the fairing process instead of the longboards for a lot of it. We will have to do some work with the longboards afterwards, but if we can knock down a lot of it with the larger sanding disc, it should save a lot of time. So we're going to try this today. It looks like it's a little awkward. They give you this bag for the dust collection that goes over your shoulder, and I'm not sure how well this is going to work. I might just take the bag off and try to hook it up to my vacuum instead. I mean, all in all, it looks like it might do the trick, so we'll give it a go, and I'll definitely let you know how it goes. Alright, so I've been giving this Wen drywall sander a go here. I did most of the side here, and surprisingly this thing's picking up 90% of the dust, which is really nice. I mean, it could probably do this without a mask. I'm not gonna, but I could probably if I wanted to, you know. Yeah, it's given a pretty good surface so far. Obviously I still have a lot of filling to do here. It'll take a few coats to get it where we need it, but as far as like flattening everything out, I think it's doing a pretty good job here, and I'm not sure how well this is picking up all the little indents I still have to fill, but yeah, I'm definitely happy with the purchase for what it is, and hopefully this makes our life a lot easier doing all the fairing. Alright guys, so when your paper gets clogged like this, I don't know if this is going to work on the resin, but they sell these giant erasers basically for woodworking. It's an abrasive belt cleaner. They work great on wood stuff, so I'm going to try it on this, and hopefully it works. Right, and it's a lot better than it was. It'll give you a lot longer life on your sanding paper. You know, obviously you want to always keep it as clean as you can, so it's really it's cutting into what you're sanding. Alright guys, so I got most of the inside of the tunnel done. I got one side done. we're getting there. I still got another coat at least to put on this. A lot of it is actually pretty good on the tunnel because I laid it on fairly thick, but definitely has some spots to touch up. Yeah, a lot of sanding. If you guys ever decide to build a boat, there's a lot of sanding. When I say this is the 5th time, I've sanded every square inch of this boat, and we're not even ready to flip it over yet. I got at least 2 more times, so definitely fun. All right, guys, gonna keep moving. So you guys will notice I made a bunch of marks on the hull here. There's waves and slight waves. I mean, I say maybe 1/8 of an inch or a millimeter thick here and there. Just spots that need to be filled a little bit more. It's tough to see some of this stuff by eye, especially over this long panel. So what I did is I took my 3-foot straight edge. I wrapped the curve here, right? And I don't know if you can see, but there's like a gap right in there. So I put a mark right where the gap is all the way around, and I went all different angles. And this will give me a reference for when I'm filling the next layer of fairing compound here, you know. Obviously some spots need more than others. So I went down the whole boat here. Just did it in pencil for now. Different spots. I did verticals, I did horizontals. It kind of gives you a reference of where everything needs to be filled more to make this hull nice and straight and smooth. Like I said, a lot of these spots aren't off by much, but again, it's so hard to see over this long distance. So that's what we're doing for now, and hopefully I can get some fairing compound on here either today or tomorrow and let it cure up. So on the next batch of fairing compound, what I'll do is I'll probably take my either my 2 or 3-foot straight edge here, and I don't have any paper or anything on here, and this was actually meant so I could actually submit fairing compound on here and then take this straight edge after and use it to scrape out the fairing compound, and that will help give me that nice curve that I actually need here. Again, this is just a reference to make sure I'm hitting the right spots. There's no need to put any more fairing compound on the spots that aren't good. Once the weather warms up, we will continue to fill and sand. The first coat of fairing has mostly been sanded. I broke my sander the other day, so waiting on replacement parts. And yeah, on the inside of the tunnel here, looking from the front back, I don't know how well this shows up on camera here, but there seems to be a slight wave about 2/3 of the way back. And it might just be where I pulled that panel into the straight to get a nice tight fit. I'm not sure. From the back you can't see it very well, but from the front it definitely shows up more, so that'll definitely be a contention spot when we do start fairing again. So at this point I've gone over pretty much most of the hull here. I got just the outside here, which I'm probably not going to record just because it's a little awkward. But the tunnel's all done. This is going to be our main focus for now. If we get warm weather, we're going to really just hit the tunnel hard, because if we can get the tunnel done and the 2 bottom hulls done, we can actually put primer on this and theoretically paint the whole bottom of the boat before we flip it. Again, weather permitting here. But yeah, I have everything marked out. The waves that I saw from down below, they're actually very deceiving. Like there's maybe an 1/8 of an inch of a gap there. If that is probably more of a 1/16. With that, I mean that's not much to fill. So hopefully this all goes pretty quick on the next coat, and then we'll start really getting into the fine details before we paint. The bottom isn't as critical. It's more critical about being straight than it is about being like perfect, any little indents, because it's going to get a thick paint on there, the anti-fouling, and there's going to get 3 coats of that. So as far as like any little imperfections in the bottom, anything below the waterline isn't super critical. The gel coats really are important because every little imperfection will show up because it's such a thin paint. We'll get everything that's painted with topside paint, you know, just about as good as we can get it anyway. We're obviously not professionals here, so I'm sure there'll be imperfections when we're done, but we're gonna do our best and make it pretty. As far as the outside of the hulls, there's still fiberglassing to be done after we flip this boat over, and it's all the cabin roofs and the window frames and all that actually gets fiberglass to the gunnels, so that's all gonna have to get faired anyway. I don't want to paint the outsides of the hull until we're ready to paint that whole area. So the bottom paint's probably going to come to geez, I can't even see my line anymore here. I think the water line was somewhere right around here all the way down. So everything below this will get painted one color. If we painted this now and we tried to touch up this strip later, it would probably show any imperfection, and you're better off just waiting and doing it all at one shot. That's kind of where we stand right now. Again, it's been way too cold over the last few weeks to do too much out here. I have done quite a bit of sanding and trying to get everything smooth. I managed to get a second coat on half of this side. Unfortunately, I was by myself and it was just too hard, and I kind of ran out of time. You know, we're starting to get there. There's only a little dip in this wall now. I had a lot of marks on here before, so this is this would be the third coat that's going to cover these marks, and they're getting smaller and smaller, which is really a good sign. It means we're on the right path here. So yeah, I'll just keep going over it with the straight edge and marking it. Like I say, it seems to be working for me. I'm not sure if you guys have any other methods for smoothing surfaces. Again, I've never done auto body or anything like that. It's basically the same methods, I believe, but yeah, if you guys have any tips, techniques, please share below in the comments. We're definitely all ears. There'll be plenty of fairing to do on this whole boat. So yeah.
Today we are concentrating on fairing the tunnel. The outside is almost there, so when we get a nice sunny day and it's about 55 plus in the tent, we work on fairing. And there's a little bit of dye in the cup just to see if it's fully incorporated. Unfortunately, this ended up being the last day that we could fair because we live in New England and it's the middle of winter. And that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Hello?